See, we're talking to ourselves over here.
Hey, that was a great sight. So hilarious.
We were cracking jokes and shit. Y'all weren't even able to
Great website we just
get
saw.
in on it. But yeah, we're just sitting back, letting you guys jump in on this session with Marcus Ruiz Evans of YesCalifornia. Woohoo! See that right there? And Nicholas Wildstar, aka the governor.
Not worthy.
Oh, please.
Not worthy. Not worthy.
We got my man Harbor here, who's Harbody, who said our sound was off. Thank you, man.
Oh, you missed that.
We finally figured it out. Hopefully you can hear us now. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, yeah.
We apologize for that. We've been doing a little smoking before the show.
We were prepping for the show.
Right.
Serious business.
Very serious business to talk about here. So, yeah. Thank you all again for jumping into this Governor Wildstar exclusive, where we're going to be sitting around talking about some shit. Hello, Carlos. What's up? Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you for jumping into this session also. And everyone that is watching, definitely feel free to drop comments and questions like Hardbody and Carlos just did. We'll be sure to drop those during the broadcast here. But of course, if you are watching over on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. If you haven't seen, this video is sporadic. I'm gonna just do sporadic shit on y'all, you know. Every now and then I'm gonna just hit broadcast live. So if y'all ain't ready, you gonna miss it. And you're just gonna have to catch up later on down the line. But I would love for you guys.
So uncharacteristically white.
Right? Why, Mr. Wildstar, would you do that to us? But yeah, please subscribe, because I do want you guys to receive notifications of when I do put out these sporadic videos. So hit that bell and subscribe now. If you're on Facebook, be sure to follow. Please do. Hit that follow on the Governor Wildstar. And if you don't know where to find me, head on over to my website, wildstar2022.com now. If you haven't already, bookmark my website for California governor, since I am a declared candidate running for California governor in 2022. And I will be running in this recall election too, once we get Gruesome Newsom, out of office. Well, first we got to get the signatures verified for that recall, which is happening right now. We have until the 29th of this month, when the Secretary of State will be confirming the amount of eligible signatures. We good? All right. He dropped a fire over here. keep Marcus from setting the fire
I'm
off.
sorry.
House on fire.
We're going to burn the set down.
Right.
Yeah, this show is going to be so hot. So hot.
Literally. What's up, Jordan? Hello to you from Utah, he says. Much love to you, and thank you very much indeed. Wildstar for Gov. Let's minimize this government significantly, especially the one here in California, which is growing out of control, which is something that we're going to be talking about. Tell me about it. We're going to be talking about that during this chat.
Carlos.
Yay. He says he wants to talk about how bad Sleepy Joe is doing. We're trying to focus on California here. I know we talk about national issues and the influence it has on the people of California, because we're all connected. We care about our world and these world events, as we should. But we shouldn't let it get us to the point where it's provoking violence among each other, among our community. And unfortunately, that's what national policies and national stories have done. I just recently read a news story about how a 13-year-old was shot and killed by the Chicago PD. He was running and he was shot and he was killed when they told him to stop and put his hands up. He did exactly that, and they shot and killed him. So there's a lot of people out there, especially on the right, saying we should just comply with authority figures. Yeah, exactly. Trump's got the vaccine. Everybody got the vaccine. And now they're trying to force that vaccine on people. And if you want to comply, you're not going to have any trouble with it. But if you don't, there's going to be some issues, and we're starting to find that out. The people of Orange County actually pushed back against their county officials who were trying to impose a health passport, as they were calling it, to make the people of Orange County feel safer. Well, the people of Orange County didn't like that idea, went to these city hall meetings, protested, and overturned that decision. So now they will not be forced to carry this vaccine passport. Yeah, this just happened. So Biden is saying he's not going to impose vaccine passports on the federal level, right? But he's leaving it up to each city, state, to do their own thing. And in California, that's exactly what's happening. Is you are having counties push for mandating these health passports. Okay, Orange County was the first. Let's see who tries again. Has anyone thought how strange it is Trump likes conservative men visiting him in his basement to take the knee? Then pictures of no comment. I feel like I want to run when I'm for the House because I'm tired of this BS and for my district voice is heard and my voice as well. Yes, please. Hey, all you got to be is 18. In the state of California, for a lot of positions or whatever, the law is you must be 18, you must be a registered voter, and an American citizen. Citizen, key word. So you don't even have to be a natural born American to run for a position, whether it be city council, House seat, mayor, or even governor. That's why you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, of all people, become the governor of California. He wasn't born in America. He was born in another country, but he's an American citizen, and so he was able to serve the people of this state. So if you are foreign born and you would like to serve the people, wherever you are, please definitely run for office. We would appreciate it. More representation. The kid was a gangbanger and had a gun. He tossed it while he was running. The cop shot him immediately when he stopped running. It was dark too. Nope. Watch the video again, brother. He was not a gangbanger. He did have a gun that was passed to him by a friend who just gave him the shit and said, run. And he did. Now, of course, that's not something smart to do. He threw the gun. And then the cops told him in the video, watch it again. It's hard to stomach. Cop says, stop. Put your hands in the air. Kid stops, puts his hand in the air, and split seconds later, cop loads him up. So no, whether it was dark or not, actually in the video, it was quite bright. They had a flashlight on the kid, and they even freeze framed it to show you that the kid had his hands in the air. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really say that it was dark and, give credibility where, I guess, in a situation where you would think it would be due. These are professionals. They have a certain responsibility, and you would think with all of the training that they would know better, right? I mean, you seen TV and movies where they show police officers or law enforcement personnel, whatever the case may be, and they do these shooting exercise, and they'll show the cutout, and he'll have his hands up, and they're like, oh, don't shoot, and then they show the criminal guy, and he's got a gun pointed at him, and they, shoot that one.
Yeah.
So if that's TV training, what are they doing in real life? You know what I'm saying? Marcus, what you think about what I just said? Did you even hear about that?
So two things. One, no, I didn't. Okay. And here's the honest answer. I cannot keep up with the number of African-American men who are shot under mysterious circumstances here in America.
Right.
And have a normal life. So I try to stay up on the news, but it happens way too much where it seems like every other day. And it's not that I don't care. It's just this shit's happening far too much. Where it's like didn't we just talk about, I was just recognizing the Dante.
The Dante Rice shooting.
The young male looks African-American in a nice car, and that was the only reason they stopped him, and then he's dead for that.
Exactly.
And here we are with another one with, I put my hands up, and then you get shot. I mean, it's, Yeah. The other, so that's the honest truth of it. Take that as you will with the commentary on the state of this situation with a particular group and the police. The other part of it is, so with this situation, did the young man who had the gun in his hand and he threw it away, did he shoot the gun at all?
No, he did not. He tossed the gun.
So there was no point.
He was unarmed.
The gun in his hand that he was like shooting at the cops, or did he wave the gun at them as if he was shooting at them?
Nope.
So this was, he got the gun and immediately started running away.
Yep.
Okay, well, my understanding is that the police are never supposed to shoot no matter what unless there's a reason to suspect loss of life to the officer or a third party.
Right.
Now, if the young man had not shot anybody and did not seem menacing and appeared to be trying to run away, then that doesn't qualify as an inherent threat or danger to the officer's life or to a third party, which means there's no excuse for shooting him.
Right. Okay, so I actually just found a picture. I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. If I could bring it up here. And I'm going to come back to you, hard body. I saw your comment there. I do want to respond to that. What's up, fellow status? You've been I love his satire there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So he said, I saw it, but it's a split decision to not fire by the cop. I personally don't like cops. Yeah, but that's why they're trained, man, to deal with those split-second decisions. Am I right? You know what I mean? Yeah. So let me see.
That's a picture. I think that's it. That guy's hands are up.
It won't come up though. Every time I do it, it's like a video.
Ironic.
Yeah. Let me see. All right, we'll figure it out. Anyways, imagine simping for the same police that will gladly take your firearms. Straight up.
Simping for the same.
Because that's the thing. The people on the right talking about just comply. You wouldn't have to worry about this happening to you if you would just do what the police tell you to.
Yeah.
So you have many people that consider themselves to be Republicans or on the right, conservatives or whatever the case may be, that are promoting this type of message.
Yeah.
But again, these are people that are trained to provide a certain service to the community. So they should be held to a higher standard than the rest of us, right? If they're the ones providing the service. Now, when we give them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, you made a mistake, or it was an accident, as they're calling the shooting of Dante Wright, the officer pulled her service weapon instead of her taser, which she claimed she meant to have pulled. Now, this officer is a 26-year veteran. She's also a trainer herself. She trains other officers. And she's a police union president. And and she, again, pulls her gun, shoots him. And just like Hardbody was saying, split-second decision, shot him instead of using her taser. If you guys aren't trained enough to where you can identify with arming yourself with something that will kill somebody versus something that will not kill somebody, you shouldn't have that job. If you aren't the type of person that can deal with making a hard choice in a split second because you're trained to do so, you shouldn't have that job. You shouldn't be taking it out. If you're going to be in fear of your life constantly and think your job puts you in danger and everyone is a threat to you, you shouldn't have that job. You know, how do you join Cal Exit Congress? Like the thing you do on weekends. Oh, Carlos wants to join Cal Exit Congress.
Can you type my email in the? I don't care if everybody sees my email.
You got it for sure. I got the Yes California up here, but I'll change it. But yes, please, if you want to join the Yes California Congress, please. Contact my man right here, Marcus Ruiz Evans. Hold on. All right. Okay. I have to take that call a little later. But yeah, give me your email.
Marcus, M-A-R-C-U-S, period, RUIZ period EVANS at gmail.com.
All right, you guys. There you go. Right here, if you want to contact Marcus Ruiz Evans, right here, president of the YesCalifornia Cal Exit Congress, please contact him if you'd like to get involved, because we need to get as many new members as possible and grow the group. You know, we got old members, but we need some new blood too. I'm one of the new blood, so I'm trying to get more people involved.
Yes, always, you know? Always. And we're constantly growing. Please email me, marcus.ruiz.evans@gmail. Governor Wildstar is there. A lot of other people are joining, and really all you got to do is be a Californian.
Yes, exactly. So please definitely hit him up. If he runs, you don't need to shoot. Yes, you can take him instead, but it was for no reason. I'm just catching up here on the comments, people. He tossed a split second before getting shot. It was dark all around. Besides where the flashlight was pointing, it was an alley. Yes, absolutely. You're correct. Honestly, the police issue can be solved by stopping the infantry training they get. Right. Focus more so on reconnaissance training. Instead of running guns, scouts observe before making rash moves. Yeah, what about the people in the military? I was speaking with a friend who is in the military, and she was saying that, you know, if they're in active duty and it's wartime, and something were to happen, like with what these police officers are doing in our own streets, in our own country, they would be in trouble. They would probably be court-martialed. They would probably be criminally prosecuted, because they have a certain responsibility when they're out there to not put innocent people in danger, not to cause a rift internationally, you know, with another country where they're policing, because it can cause, you know, a bad relation between those you are supposed to be protecting and the people that are doing the protecting. So she told me, hey, straight up, if that were to happen in the military, there would be serious repercussions. But for some reason, we don't see that same type of response here in our own nation with our law enforcement officials. So what's the difference? You know what I mean? Carlos says he wants to join, and please do.
Yeah, please. Glad to join. Tell everybody. All you got to do is be a Californian and be worried about the future of the US of A.
And I think many people are. There was no reason to tase him either, but I think that could have been an honest mistake, dumb mistake, but still, like you said, the fear factor and split decision, the two male officers had it. Yeah, and she could have shot the other cop. I mean, did you see when she pulled out the gun, it was another cop in there trying to get him out.
And this is the trainer?
Yeah. And she says, taser, taser, taser. The guy is still in there, you know, trying to wrestle the guy, and she shoots him. So she could have accidentally shot another cop in the head, torso, arm, you know, because he had this entire area. She could have shot him.
Here's why I don't buy that. This is what happened with Fruitvale BART, right? So we had this in California, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
The Fruitvale BART station. Michael B. Jordan was in the movie.
Oscar Grant.
Oscar Grant. Thank you. And the officer had him, I think, lie down. And then pulled out what the officer said what he thought was a taser and executed him right there. And then goes, oh, damn, I thought it was a taser.
Right.
I mean, this is a thing. You can't tell the difference between a taser
and it's still going on.
And that's still going on. And no one ever figured out how to fix that or do something with the grip or.
Right. And from what I've learned, the taser is light as hell compared to a gun, which weighs a few pounds, especially when it's loaded. And the tasers are usually bright yellow and, you know, another color other than the service weapon, which is black. You know, it's usually the Glock. And it's on the opposite hip of their shooting hand. So they have to reach across.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
You know your gun is on this side.
What's this?
You have to go over here to get your taser, you know? And remember, This one kills, this one does not. If they're not teaching that simple difference in police academy or whatever type of, training these guys are receiving, then something is wrong. Wouldn't you say?
I don't buy that this is happening. I don't know why it's still happening. Let me introduce a different
What's up,
thought out
TJ?
there.
Give it to
Hey,
me.
TJ, you meant to pull out a gun.
Right.
You meant to shoot. That doesn't sound cool after the fact. Oh, I meant taser.
Right.
I'm just, now, can I prove that? No, but can you prove the opposite? No. This comes down to what was that individual thinking in their head at that second?
Right.
And while I am perhaps biased in one direction, I would argue to the other people, you are perhaps biased in the opposite direction. You weren't there. You don't know that cop. You're not a behavioral psychologist. How would you know? And this idea that no one in the police force ever, and certainly like we talked about, there's many great police officers. I have family in law enforcement, many good people in the military, many good people in the police force, but then there's also killers.
Yes.
Now, who's one and the other? I don't know, and I'm not going to say, but let's all be honest here, right?
Right.
Many people bound by duty, patriotism, love for their community. Of course, there are good police officers.
I'm actually glad you brought that up. Recently, a cop. Let me turn on the fan if it's getting a little warm in
That's
here.
just me. I'm warm blood. It's a hot show,
right?
Hot topics.
Got bright lights and hot topics. But she was on the force, I think, 19 years, and she saw another officer choking a black guy, and she went to help, or a suspect. I'll just say it, so we won't make it racial for you people that are sensitive. She saw another cop, another police officer choking a suspect. She jumped in to stop. Okay. They fired her a year before she qualified to retire, so she could get her pension. This should happen 16 years ago. And she's just now getting vindication through the law system that's supposed to be bringing justice
Really?
swiftly, right, to criminals.
Yeah.
Here is something where you have a police officer that's on the force damn near 20 years, and they refused her pension and all of this simply because she decided to not fall in line and go against, the narrative.
Right.
Something wall. Is exactly the blue wall. Something is wrong with these people that say back to blue, no matter who, or whatever the case may be. Thin blue line. I don't know, because those are the people supposedly running the Republican Party and behind the Republican conservative message that's promoted through the media. And it's all wrong.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to disagree with you here.
So okay, tell me how.
When you're saying people are wrong for saying back the blue, no matter who, I mean, as we can recall, that's an American thing to do. I think it was America in 1939 put on the cover of Time magazine, Man of the Year, the greatest anti-communist at the time. And so, back the anti-communist, no matter who, even if it's Adolf Hitler.
Right.
Makes sense to me. Trans forward today. Back the blue, no matter who.
Right.
Very American of you.
Yeah. It's, I don't know where that came from, man.
Right? I mean,
it's like this shift to what we were talking about, this like ultra nationalism that looks a certain way other than what America is. And American nationalism differs from what the media wants you to believe it is. I was talking about this today. Like, California Republicans really don't give a fuck about who you marry. They don't give a damn if you smoke weed. They don't give a damn about none of that stuff. Really, they just live and let live. Don't make laws, surrounding that shit. And leave me alone. Don't make me pay for it.
And cut the taxes.
That's a Calipublican for you.
And I love that. And that's why originally I was a Republican. Low taxes, low regulation. Stay out of my business. Right?
Right.
That was why I like the libertarians too, for, whatever.
Right. So, it's crazy that, again, we have this kind of commitment to authority happening by the supposed conservatives and Republicans, people on the right, because that's not what the Republican Party was at all. If you guys, do a little history, you end up finding out about how the Democrats and Republicans used to be the same party. They were called Democratic Republicans. And then you had a split between the two where it was the Democrats, Jacksonians, I believe, or whatever.
Oh, you're going way back.
Yeah. And then the Republicans, a small group of people that just wanted to focus on us being a republic and standing by the United States Constitution, which we had grown away from for a long time. And it continued until Abraham Lincoln got elected. So, and again, they were all for the United States Constitution, which our government now has deviated from severely.
Thank you for mentioning that. I was going to say, if they actually applied to the real Constitution, I think a lot of things would be better, but they don't.
Oh, yeah.
They don't.
Severely.
They say they do, but they don't. They have wild interpretations of the original intent and then do what they felt like anyways.
Right. America was not founded by bootlickers. Tell them, Euban. You even have to explain what that term bootlicker means to people, because they have it confused that if you are compliant with authority, that, that's a good thing. And being a bootlicker is okay if that's what you want to call it, but slap on some other figures like Marcus said, like Adolf Hitler, and you have sympathizers, Nazi sympathizers among us. Really, that's what's happening. And it's the prejudice of that is growing significantly. How do we kill it? We got to infiltrate the system. So that's what I wanted to talk about, is being a RINO, the Republican in name only, because that's what they call it. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Those closed captions covered the posted comments, just FYI. Which closed captions? You talking about these right here?
I think we took it off the screen.
No, I didn't see any closed captions, but maybe it's just your computer. You got on the closed captions on right now or something. He says a bootlegger equals a cracker, and then system supporters, straight up. System supporters, and that system doesn't mind making sure that you stay oppressed, feel oppressed, and impose upon you their authority.
They prefer it.
Right. They prefer it. They need that in order to stay in power. So we should definitely be rebellious of that, in this country. And if you want to call yourself a Republican, you definitely should be against it, seeing as the majority of the first few Republicans were abolitionists, like one of my favorite, Frederick Douglass, who was a Republican. And he was a very well-known abolitionist, all right? You have people right now that would have been the same people that would have called the police on runaway slaves. Straight up.
Took me a second to put that together.
They're not following directions here.
Yeah.
They should just comply. And, these are the rules. It's the law. You need to be abiding by the law and order, And those same type of people are among us. Their mindset has not changed. They have not evolved, which is why we're still in this damn situation to this day. It's just the chains of oppression and slavery have changed. They're no longer physical. They're invisible.
That was good.
It's true, man. And a lot of them are in the damn Republican Party. I'm finding out, or not even that. Okay, so back to this RINO, RINO Dino bullshit. Okay, so just so you guys know, the word RINO or term RINO means Republican in name only. Okay, And on the flip side, on the left, you got the dinos, the Democrats in name only. All right. So supposedly now this term RINO means if you're anti-Trump. Anybody that's not a Trump supporter and on Team Trump is a RINO, because that's the new identity of the Republican Party.
Clever.
Versus, being a classical Republican, standing on those principles of minimizing government and taxes and, getting government out of your business where it doesn't belong. That used to be the Republican motto. Now is the opposite of that.
Still a good motto.
Right. Still
just
a
saying,
good motto.
Why would you walk away from that, Republicans? Like, that's a good motto. I remember I was on Laura Ingraham, and I said, that's why I left the Republican Party. And she's like, oh, because you're liberal? And I go, and then she goes, now you support taxes? And I go, no. I still support low taxes and low regulation. Y'all lost me because the rest of the garbage.
Right.
And she just looked down. She goes, and you could tell she was like, fuck. I'm sorry.
Hey, this is a non-politically correct show. If you guys are offended by profanity, you're in the wrong place. Not just with this damn show, but with me in general, I'm going to be professional. I'm going to be well-spoken and verbose. And other times I'm going to be crass forward and profane. So get used to it. Shit. Y'all used to people faking. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's the truth. That's the truth. Right?
Straight up. They want this prepackaged idea of what a politician is supposed to look like, sound like, act like. And those are the people that they prop up in front of us to say, this is your ideal American. This is your role model, people that you should aspire to be like. When those people are frauds, you look into them, you find out a bit more about them, you end up finding out they're some of the most despicable people you would ever want to affiliate yourself with. Speaking of which, wanted to talk to you about one of them, since that information just came out recently, that I guess one of California's favorite candidates for California governor, this guy named Major Williams. You guys probably heard of him before.
That's what you
major about him. He's a major fraud.
Yeah, but
we ended up finding out recently.
Speaking of total scumbag, hey,
you like my segue?
I didn't even see where that was.
Hey, we talking about being genuine and authentic, but you go get with Wildstar 100. I tell you, he will tell you. Anybody in my close circle will tell you. Anybody that sees me at a rally and protested with me will tell you. Right. Watch my videos. Shit. Any of my supporters, followers out there, they will tell you. What you see is what you get with
what
Wildstar.
You see is what you get.
Straight up.
It is. If you like that or whatever, what you see is what you get.
Right.
I have met the man, seen him in person, seen him on video.
Now the reason why I'm like this, just so you guys know, is because when I do get elected, because it will happen if I continue to put myself out there. The only way it's not going to happen is if I stop.
Don't even talk like that. You got it. I met a lot of politicians. You got it.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm not saying that to be nice. You got it.
So once I get elected, like he said, I got it. I'm going to get it one of these days when it comes. I'm going to still be the same damn guy. You guys can know that I won't sell out. I'm not going to change the type of person that I am. I'm not going to pussyfoot and sugarcoat shit for you in front of the cameras. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I don't care who's there. CNN, Fox News, the president. It could be full of all types of people that you would think would be high-ranking, high-profile individuals, and I will still tell you like it is. Period. That's what you're gonna get. That's why if you visit my website, it says honest, loyal, brave. I'm all three of those characteristics, period. And I am to the 10th degree, believe that. And I will continue to be. So as I was saying, when it comes to you stepping up to the plate to be a representative of we the people. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still that, period. I'm going to vet you. I'm going to want to find out what about you makes you fit to serve, you know, because that's an honorable position. At least that's the way I see it. They've dishonored the position with the type of people that they are, but we put them there. You know what I'm saying? So they're a reflection of us and our badass choices. And one of those badass choices is this guy, Major Williams, because a lot of people put money on him and had faith in him to be true to form. And he ended up finding recently he is not. One of the things a lot of Republicans claim to be is conservative. But to be a conservative, you got to be fiscally conservative, right? You got to be, you know, a penny pincher in a sense, one who wants to save money. And you have to show me with your lifestyle that you're one of those type of people that will save money. If you're out there spending money on, you know, luxurious shit and wanting to buy the, you know, most extravagant this and live this type of lifestyle, then that proves to me that you're going to waste my money, you know, as a taxpayer. You get in office, you're not going to, you know, be fiscally responsible. You're going to splurge, you know, and what happens? We end up finding out these politicians get elected and they, you know, spend $5,000 on the desk and $2,000 on a chair. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, you can go to Home Depot and get that shit for $50, man. So, yeah, or one of your local businesses that you guys claim to want to help out and support. But yeah, so this guy, he's fundraised, he's about over $300,000 or whatever. I'll show you guys this screen that so you can see, because Marcus doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about either. So this is news to him as well as to you. All right, so I follow these guys, California Underground, and they just did an expose on his expenditures, what he's been spending his money on for his campaign. Okay, the video is right here so you guys can see. Follow these guys if you haven't already. California Underground, okay, on Instagram. But check him out because he definitely does his homework. And in this video right here, he did his homework and exposed how this guy Major Williams has been spending his money on high-priced hotels and car rentals and, you know, all sorts of shit instead of being fiscally responsible like a conservative should be, especially if you claim to be wanting to represent the working class people of the state. You know, the working class people of the state don't go to fancy restaurants and, you know, boutique hotels and shit like that. And as a candidate, I don't spend my money on that shit. You know, I'm not staying at the Hilton and, you know, buying crab legs and shit. I'm eating at the damn buffet, $6.99. You know, I'm good. And I don't mind roughing it and staying at a Motel 6 if I need to be, if it's the cheapest damn hotel.
That's true. That's true.
Look, this man right here, we hit the road together. He drove himself in his own car, okay? Because that's what you really do when you get out there and you want to show the people that you want to help the community. You do what it takes. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. So if it's driving your own car, or if you got to rent a car, you rent, you know, the most dirt cheap car that you can afford, because why should you go out there in a Tesla or, you know, a Maserati or some shit like that? Like that's going to matter. So we've roughed it. We even slept on the floor at Stefan's house.
That was awesome. Yeah.
To my Negrisha, Stevante Clark out there. His brother Stefan Clark, who was gunned down by Sacramento PD.
Right.
He actually has a resource center that he dedicated
I Am SAC.
In the name of his brother. Yeah, I Am SAC Foundation. So look them up also and make a contribution to my man as well so he can keep things going, okay? But yeah, so we were over there hanging out, doing some videos and shit, and we were going to go out and get an Airbnb or a hotel or something.
I was going to say that the governor's actually quite popular with Airbnb.
Right, I am.
He's a big fan of Airbnb.
Straight up, yeah.
And he makes tasteful selections.
And I don't get like $100 a night Airbnbs.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Good stuff though. You're like, okay, that looks like a nice thing and a deal. And
yeah,
and that's which is what you'd want. You want a real Republican's going to be a bargain hunter.
Exactly.
Right.
Bargain hunter.
It
fiscally,
sounds cheesy, but it is
fiscally responsible.
Penny pincher, coupon grabber. Your grandma who's like, well, 25 cents, and I gotta. That's an actual good Republican.
Exactly.
It's your penny pinching grandma model. You all have one, or an aunt. Yeah,
that's me.
Yes, exactly, and that's what you want, right? Because so they're not wasting money, and money gets spent on things we need and not things we don't.
Right.
And that's the attitude that you want. It's a behavior we kind of, look the other way or poke fun of in real life, but it's absolutely what you need in government. And I think what you're saying is, how can you trust someone after they've given you so much raw power and they have it for the next 4 years to do what they said? And the only thing you have to go on is how that person lives.
Right.
Like how do they live? I don't know. When you give them power, when they run for re-election, you can look at the first 4 years. But when you're looking at a new candidate, and you always have to look at new candidates because there's always new candidates.
Exactly.
How do you judge that? How do you go, this is a good bet? Because that's what you're doing. You're judging the probability that this person is going to do what they said.
Right. And
you don't read minds. As far as I can tell, no human actually has the ability to project into another human mind and go, I know 84% exactly he or she's going to do it. Mm-hmm. So it's a guessing game. And past behavior is the best indicator of future behavior.
Exactly. It really is.
That's a fact.
Yes. And like you said, especially for new politicians, you're still a candidate. You've yet to proven yourself as an elected official. The elected officials, we can easily just look at their record. Like my man Hardbody is saying right here, most government officials average about $200 an hour, and that's on both sides of the aisle. Red and blue, they don't give a damn about you and your green. Okay, so what this guy Major has done is proven already that he likes to live a luxurious lifestyle. You can look at his Facebook, Instagram, trail back before he started getting into politics. He was pursuing a rap career, so he's wearing the big icy watches, and he has pictures of 1 million pairs of shoes and shit. So I already knew, me and you, we're not the same. Okay.
You said that. I remember you saying that. I remember you going, yeah.
Straight up.
Look at the guy kind of hip, because you were like, look at the kind of hip hop this guy does.
Yeah. And his music. Yeah. His music tells you also, because it's that bullshit hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop artists know what that means. It's that empty music that just promotes falsities and materialism and misogyny. Speaking of which, back to Major. He made a comment. All right, so this is what happened. So California Underground put out the story about his expenditures. Okay, Corrine Tatum, a conservative, kind of pundit or influencer, whatever you want to call it. She got wind of it herself and co-signed it, because she was like, yeah, there's been some events where Major was going to be there. People wanted to come, and they were like, okay, well, it's $100 a person. They're like, come on, you're supposed to be representing the working class people during the fucking pandemic, when people have lost their jobs, their main source of income. People have lost their businesses. You know what I'm saying? So you shouldn't be charging anybody to meet you. Period. And I don't, just so you guys know. So anyway, so she put this out there, And this was Major Williams made a video in response to all of these rumors. Here's the video, and you can hear in his own words what he said.
A hoodie?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the hoodie, but this is your official campaign video? Okay.
Well, he's showing you that he's just like you know what I'm saying? And
okay.
They like to make themselves seem relatable. But anyway, so yeah, he made a live video in response to it, but then deleted it. And I guess somebody was able to take a clip from it when he made this statement. And I'll show that to you guys now.
Individual, a guy who can't control his wife. So these people are being malicious for no reason. I have no issue with these people, but for whatever reason, they continue to keep my name in their mouth. Individual,
listen,
a guy who can't control his wife.
A guy who can't control his wife. So he was talking about the situation, you know what I'm saying? And Brandon Tatum, who's another conservative, influencer, very popular guy, and and his wife. So he was talking about them, talking about the expense report, and how he's basically, a waste of time and a waste of money. And he's responded to it and says, I didn't respond to these individuals, and it's just a guy who can't control his wife. These are the words that this man chose at this moment.
Well,
okay.
You're
talking about split-second decisions, bro.
I want to make sure. Well, hold on, because the one thing I really,
that's what my man made.
Okay, hold on. Because the one thing I really respected about you was when you had the beef with the Libertarian Party official, you asked and confirmed.
Right.
Before you did anything.
Yeah, and before I go out and slander you, supposedly.
Or do anything at all.
Before I respond.
Well, and I've been with activists, a lot of them don't do that. So and I respected you a lot when you did that. I was like, oh, no, because you were super angry, right? That's when character counts. Like when I'm a little bit crazy today because shit didn't go, and you were still like, no, hold on. I checked. Confirmed. And then I came out and I was like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're saying Major Williams said about the newspaper guy, you can't control your wife.
Yeah.
He's done. He's done. Are you kidding? Why don't you show this to the League of Women Voters? Like you're
right.
You're fucked. I'll just go ahead and say it now because you're fucked. So if anybody wants League of Women Voters, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about someone who thinks they're going to run for office and says something like that, let alone thinks it, and thinks they're going to somehow. Really? You know how many women are in the legislature? You can't even think that way, man. They will sense it out. You will be done, dude. Yeah. Where are you living? Is it some cave?
His campaign slogan is "Think Major." And I was reading some of the comments and shit, just for shits and giggles, I do it, because a lot of people go hard. Somebody said you should probably change your slogan to Major Williams, the guy that can control his wife. We're sorry, people.
I can't be. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh damn. Yeah. Okay. I'm crying over here. See this shit.
So
this shit is comedy.
So we are.
California politics is comedy, y'all.
Oh my.
Hang with me. I will show you the real.
Okay, for all the women that know me, we are laughing at the guy.
Right.
Okay, this is laughing at him. That's so that you get the guy humor going on is making fun of another guy.
Right. We laugh at
his
chauvinism.
Yeah. Yes. So we are joking so that if anybody called, well, I saw you say no, just you have to understand the joke.
God. Woo! So yeah,
that's what he said. That he really said that on video, and he just went ahead.
You heard him.
Sent it out there. And it's like, here's my response.
He deleted it. He hasn't made a public response to it yet. but he deleted the video immediately. Somebody saved that clip, thank God, because that's a soundbite for your ass. I'm gonna have to use that when things really get big. But yeah, so
Oh my God.
yeah, the guy who can't control his wife. So he made a few memes, tell someone to control their wife or ignore small-time podcaster Major Williams pushing the red button.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't replied to California Underground either to say, you know, I want to respond to your supposed allegations, whatever the case may be. Yeah. Now live looking at the Major Williams campaign. You get clouds today.
Yeah, oh my
So, when we talk about good rhinos versus bad rhinos, this is a bad rhino, okay? Because the Republican Party is non-existent in the state of California, okay? The Republican base are the people here in the state. And
well said.
Thank you
Well
very
said.
much.
Very,
And they don't
So he's
reflect
been doing a really good job
these
at
type of
collecting
things
all
that
the
he's talking about.
resources and gaining really great allies. And we've been in rooms that, you know, ideally people wouldn't think that we'll be able to get into. But as I said, you know, this is just a special movement at a special time. And we just, you know,
When was
we're
this
just,
film? Was this?
you know, making those
This must
lasting
have been-
connections
3
that
days?
are
Afterwards,
really
yeah.
propelling everything that we're doing. So
Oh,
I'm
so he's
excited
just going to
about it.
ignore it.
Yeah, he basically ignores it. There's people in the comments actually asking him, and he's just choosing not to respond to it at all.
Other than that, that's pretty much it. So when it comes to
Other
this
than that, that's
information,
pretty
me
much it.
Personally, my focus is 100% on California.
Yeah, so California Underground, you guys check them out. They exposed this guy as a fraud, which I could have told y'all what I've been telling y'all from the beginning, you know, because I'm the boots on the ground guy. I'm the one out there at the rallies. I'm with the protesters. I'm on stage and and I'm in the audience, you know?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and I'm behind the damn microphone too sometimes.
Yep.
So our paths have crossed many times. You know what I'm saying? I could have been told you, no, don't do that. You could have looked at his campaign for mayor of Pasadena and found out that. But you're not properly vetting these people. And then you're comparing my success to his just based on money. Well, he's been able to fundraise this amount of money. Why? Because he's been out there acting like a rhino, the rhino that they want. Okay? The rhino that I don't want to say red hat Republicans, but all right. So I found this article right here. It's a New York Times article. It says the 3 type of Republicans Donald Trump created. Okay. It's the Never Trumpers, which is the unlikeliest group of rhinos, because there are still people that consider themselves to be Republicans, but they don't identify with Trump policies or Trump supporters or Trump's messaging and all of that stuff. And they definitely don't agree with the Democrats. So they're still fighting for the Republican Party. And so are Trump's loyalists, which are pretty much taking over the Republican Party. So this article breaks it down, talk about the Never Trumpers, and the third group here, the Trump Republicans, which we all already know of. But then they talk about this group, the new rhinos. The term rhino used to mean Republican in name only, and it's not a description that anyone was likely to use. For Mark Bravanovich or whatever, the conservative attorney general of Arizona, that was before Trump. And they basically break it down to say, again, you have this new rhinos that don't identify with what Trump stood for, or, you know, misogyny and chauvinism, like with what you heard from Mr. Major Williams, who got a great group of donors from that base. I don't identify with that base. I identify more so with the new RINOs, you know, or the classical Republicans, as they're called in this article, you know. So the classical Republicans of the state of California, like I said, more so don't give a damn about some of the issues that the mainstream media creates, identity that it creates of the typical Republican. They don't at all. Major Williams might be able to get elected in Florida. That's really a weird place where anything goes. Thank you, Yuba, for your comments. Thank you, Hardbody, Yeshua, and all of you guys for all of your comments. Keep them coming. We definitely appreciate the conversation. What you got to say about this, Marcus? What is the good RINO, bad RINO? Where does Major Williams, do you think, fall in that category?
So he was accused of spending campaign money on limos for transportation and fancy hotels for, I guess, campaign stops or something. Is that roughly?
Mm-hmm. Lots of different organizations like, what is it? Campaign promoters and management services that they weren't able to find any information for, like ghost companies. Little shit like that. Already, this guy. Now he's doing it because he's underground, you know. Mainstream media, Major Williams hasn't hit that level yet, you know. But if and when he does, if they were to do a little digging, they come to find all of this information because it's public knowledge, you know. It's on the Secretary of State website where this guy gets it from. So all he got to do is a little bit of digging, and it's right there. So yeah, he did that. The control your wife. He also has allegations of sexual assault. Apparently, the Corinne Tatum girl that I told you about, that he made the comment, control your wife. She put out some screenshots of some ladies contacting her saying, hey, he's hit on me. He's made advances, even though he's married with kids. So
there's evidence here.
Yes.
There's actual some hard evidence, not just somebody saying, but it sounds, she has screenshots.
And it's several women. And again, he's yet to respond to any of these allegations.
It sounds like a hip hop star, and not a conscious hip hop star, like, you know, KRS-One or someone, but the bling
or cue ball.
Or cue ball.
For sure.
Right? You said he was in hip hop videos, and I like hip hop too. I love hip hop. So, but he's all, you know, his hip hop was look at my money and all this stuff. Well, now they're saying he's running a campaign. He's making all this money with the donations, which you do with the campaign, and you do have to spend a lot of money. But instead of renting a sedan or even a luxury sedan, you're renting limos. That's like the most expensive option for that, rather than getting you could get a nice looking, comfortable car rental through a reasonable agency, and it would cost you a lot less than routine limos. You could have to stay at the Sheraton and then book stuff there either. You can, exactly. You know, stay at La Quinta Inn.
Which I've done also.
So, you know, or, you know, if you're really whatever, motel, whatever, you can. And then if you're hiring services from companies that aren't easy to find, I mean, the idea that you wouldn't know that you're running a campaign and that when you take in over $2,000, it gets real.
Yeah.
It gets real, and they don't play.
Yeah, $2,000 is the threshold for when you have to start reporting your donations.
Yeah.
I've yet to hit that. So it's based on the honor system.
Yeah.
I don't even have to report at this point. But once I hit $2,000, like Marcus said, it's on.
They don't play here. They don't play. No. But sounds like we're talking tens of thousands of dollars that was not spent well, if not hundreds.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the number. I'm just speaking up what I'm hearing.
He's collected over 300, you know, and spent maybe half. So based off of this finance report, a great majority of that has been spent on luxurious type of expenses.
No.
Yeah.
No. I will give you that. Hey, We had a pizza party. Things were happening. Maybe we got that limo once. This sounds like I'm taking money in and I want to live high, on the life. Like I'm
exactly
wealthy.
They want to turn this being a politician shit into a money-making type of profession. And it shouldn't be. It's supposed to be the most honorable, noble, selfless thing you could ever do in your community. It's just like serving in the military or, being a teacher.
Yes.
It's supposed to be this selfless act.
Yes.
But it's not. They're instead using it as a way to parade around as celebrities and, make money off of it. I mean, he also sells shirts and shit. It's a branding thing. They also do that,
Oh my God! Look at Kamala.
Yeah, exactly.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
What do we do about it?
Well, that's a tough one. Part of it is that money is the game in politics, and,
right?
You can complain all you want, but it still is that way, just unlimited spending. So you'd have to change the laws. There was the McCain Feingold Act, and that was going to limit contributions and also where you had to explain who the money was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That was destroyed in the 2008 presidential campaign.
Wow.
So
yeah, there's a lot of little things that. All right, so when you sign up to become a candidate, they make you take a pledge, and it's optional to where you can pledge to say, I won't collect more than $2 million. All right. Now, $2 million is a hefty ass ceiling or something. But most candidates don't take that pledge, or I think it may be even less than that. I don't know, but it seems like it's a lot of money. But when you look at elections and shit and how much money is spent, a lot of candidates don't select that option. I even haven't. I've been advised not to, just to leave it open to, however much money you can collect, which is of course, something that you want to do because you want to compete against your challenger, who is doing also the same thing. Like with the special election, there is no limitation to how much an individual can give. So during a typical gubernatorial election, the ceiling per individual is like 32 grand. In the special election, ain't no limit.
Wow.
So you've already
really?
had
crazy.
Newsom has already fundraised over $3 million. Okay. With the majority of the people giving an average of $100,000 each, including the family of the Fiji drinking water and a novelty candidate that ran again in the recall election for Gray Davis, which they also do. They prop up candidates to run and pool, you know what I'm saying? And, people don't know. It's a lot of dirty tricks. Behind the scenes with this politics shit.
Well, I mean, look at Harris and Pelosi, two of the most successful people that come out of California and do politics. And a large part of that was the fundraising machine. So Harris' husband is a marketing publicity executive. That's why that phrase, there was a little girl who couldn't go to school because you instituted segregation, Mr. President. Remember when Harris took on Biden?
Yes.
Yeah. So great story. And of course, we all support that. But the packaging that into I was that little girl, that's all marketing. Like her whole campaign's marketing. Right. And if you watch Kamala when she actually ran, that's why she got trashed on the healthcare policy and some other policies, because she'd take a stance to what's popular. And then when it wasn't a good plan, she'd try to walk it back, fumbling. And she did that with at least two different things. And she didn't have her own ideas, but she had slogans.
Mm-hmm.
She always had slogans. They're like, look at this clever thing she said. Look at this clever thing. That was all marketing, right?
Right.
Raises money. And remember after the night that she took on Joe Biden and said, you instituted segregation and I was that African-American girl, which we all support the sentiment of. They had T-shirts out that night.
Right.
Oh, but it was an inspirational moment, and she just felt that from her heart. Right. Okay, and then Pelosi. So I said, when they did the third impeachment of Trump, I go, watch how they screw this up. You know, if somebody screwed it up twice, I wouldn't hire them a third time. No, you can't say that. Nancy's so accomplished. And I'm like, what has she accomplished on? She screwed up the bailout in 2010. Remember, that's the one for the banks. We didn't get to know what's in it. You had to vote for the law to see what's in it. She hasn't fixed the donor state situation with California. She signed every nasty Patriot Act they've signed. I don't know really anybody in California who knows her except maybe outside of San Francisco, a few people. And then she couldn't convict Trump on these 3 different impeachments, and she couldn't get the stimulus check on time. She admitted that she used Californians as a pawn, that she could have got the stimulus in December. She made us wait till February,
right?
Because she thought it would help Donald Trump. So I know Californians who went homeless in December because they didn't get that money,
right?
And they were used like a fucking pawn by Nancy. And here's the reason why Nancy's in charge. She's really great at raising donations. So Nancy's not actually in power because of her political brilliance. All that talk about master strategist, total garbage marketing machine. The reason that Nancy's in charge is that her husband, so her father was connected to the mob and was very wealthy and politically in control.
Yeah, tell them about this crazy family connection. It really runs California.
No,
like it runs 50 years deep, people.
Yes.
Plus or something. Look at how old Nancy Pelosi is. But
her this is a fact. Her dad was a big time player in Baltimore. She spends most of her time still in Baltimore and always has. The entire time she's been here in California, and especially now when she's in power, she spends more time in Baltimore than California. It's close to DC, but also the question is, you're not in DC, you're in Baltimore, which is where you're from. Do you like Baltimore? Do you like California? I don't know. You spend more time there than here. So, but her dad's from there. Dad's connected to the mafia. Robert Kennedy was going to investigate her. So, reason it's this East Coast thing. The reason they get to be powerful politicians because they're connected with the mob. Where do you think the campaign money came from? Where do you think? Oh, the rival candidate, his girlfriend was caught admitting that she cheated with him. Oh, this is what they did. The Kennedys were famous for this. It's not. I'm not saying this is unique to the Pelosi family. It's not. It's the way things done. We're on the East Coast, but it never really was done that way here in California. Just saying. So, anyways, she comes over here, and her husband wants to run for office, and he knows her dad's like this big major power family politically. And so he runs for office, he gets in, she runs the dinner parties for campaign donations. And she's really good at it. And together they're like fantastic at raising donations.
Right.
Then he dies. And they're like, shh, don't turn off the faucet. Nancy, you run. And she's admitted, like, I never thought about running until my husband died. And then people told me, this was her thing, like, I'm a selfless servant. Right. And maybe the case, that's how she got started, but it's also the opposite. Yeah. Nobody thought you were good enough to run. What they wanted was to make sure the cash kept coming in. Exactly. And they just put you in her husband's place, and you already had all the contacts because they were at the party. So it's not like you ran. It's you go, oh, bring me the top 3,000 most powerful, well-connected people in all of San Francisco, from the richest to the top activists, and let me talk to all of them. Okay, I will campaign to you 3,000. That's my campaign.
Right.
That's not running. I've seen you. You go out, you meet the public. I don't know who this person is, but I got to deal with their questions, whatever. Yeah. That's a real politician. And I understand there's a little bit of this and that and whatever, but there is something about a real politician, like even Reagan or Clinton, and I didn't like either one of them. But God damn it, they could go and meet the public and chat it up all day, whoever showed up, and they liked it. And Pelosi wasn't that. She was a power player. Harris also never actually ran either. So she was so popular with the police and the sheriffs and stuff that
and Gavin Newsom, who was the mayor of San Francisco.
Yeah, and they go, why don't you just run? So Harris ran against a Latina, and they knocked out the Latina rival because she made some whooping sound, and like she was indigenous, and when she's not indigenous, and so they go, oh, you're being racist. So they knocked her out. So she didn't even really have a real candidate when she ran, and she wasn't even running. So Harris never has actually had the meet the public.
Right.
She's had, like Pelosi, major power players and money go, you run. We know everybody. Just like you were saying, it's a machine. You get out there. What we need is this face. but I don't have ideas, and I'm not really civically minded, and limiting the government is not a passionate
Right.
philosophy for me that's guided me since what? I was 16, right, Nick, or something? You got
Exactly,
some book from someone in your family, like, no, it doesn't matter. You stick your face out there, and then we'll fill in the backstory and the money and the connections. And well, I've never really worked with activists. I've never protested. Doesn't worry. Here, we got you a BLM activist to stand right here behind you on TV. You're good to go.
You're good to go.
But we need that face.
Mm-hmm. And those people are propped up too.
And I know you're talking about rhinos, but it's also dinos. It's all of them. They're fake ass people. It used to be where, there was money and there was graft, but there was an actual commitment to the principle. Like Reagan was crooked, but Reagan was crooked in line with the principles he told everybody he believed in.
Right.
So he kind of sold you out, but he sold you out Republican style, and he never do. And that's kind of why people went the other way. It was he wouldn't do this. Hey, I'm about fiscal responsibility and cutting funding, and I'm going to drop it all on hotels and limos and shell companies.
Exactly.
If that's true, I don't know, but that's the allegations. And it would be something like he would use his influence to make money with the corporation because he believed in the profit movement. Now it was illegal, but it wasn't the same. I'm just saying there used to be like honor among thieves. Mm-hmm. They would stick to their principles even when selling out, and now it's need that face.
Exactly.
But I'm not really Republican. Yeah, you are. Look, I just draw around the edges. Now you're a Republican. I'm not really Democrat. Yeah, you are. Look, I just draw. Here we go. Move this.
Right.
You make one statement on Twitter, and here's a commercial with you and Beyonce. You have always been about hip hop.
Yeah. Same thing with the libertarians too. You're a libertarian, cut and paste here.
Yeah, cut and paste, and we fill it in. And they're going like, have you lived that? I mean, say what you will, but Bernie Sanders is another one. What you see is, and I know he lies and I know he tricks, but a lot of that socialism stuff, that guy's been selling that for decades. So a lot of that Sanders thing is him.
Right.
I'll leave it there. I'm not endorsing blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying versus like Trump versus Hillary versus Obama versus Bill Clinton versus Reagan, where they're like, I'm here. Now 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 I'm here. Now.
To me, you can talk about it all day. Look at your voting record, and these senators have a job. And all right, so just recently I put out some information how, Bernie Sanders is getting out there with BLM and saying defund the police, yada, yada. Ends up signing one of the largest spending bills to increase funding for the police.
Right there.
Okay?
Right there.
Along with a shitload of other so-called progressive Democrats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. They definitely, they're all used salesman car types.
Yep. Like
straight up.
I mean, you want to see the wildest? Find the 5 bills that Donald Trump and the squad all signed, and that tells you everything.
Right. Trump switched his party affiliation more than 11 times. Yeah, he used to be a former Democrat. He was a Republican. He is a Republican in name only. You know what I'm saying? People forget Trump ran for president and lost the nomination to Mitt Romney, who then, ran against Trump, ran against Obama. It could have been Obama versus Donald Trump. He ran again. So he was really just aligning himself with the Republican Party so he could wiggle his way in. And he's already an elitist. He's already in that group of, powerful people and rich and, well-connected. So it was easy for him to kind of wiggle his way into those circles. And this guy right here, Major Williams, he actually was at the White House a few times, made a few trips out there, and gotten a lot of donors from the Trump camp. So yeah, it's all about the money with these people, and it will continue to be. And I think it was Euban here who said something about, politicians are selected right here. You're right. That's why we need to get some politicians that are selected by we the people, people politicians like me. I'm a people politician, like my man right here. You know what I'm saying? We're people politicians.
Been in it for years.
Yeah, exactly.
Sleeping in shitty hotel rooms.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Shit.
Yeah, tell the activists, even the activists I don't like, you can tell who's an activist.
Exactly.
Have you slept in crappy hotels over the years for no really good reason other than you wanted to get up and yell the next morning? Then you're a real activist. I know you're actually about it.
Exactly.
Because nobody in their right mind does that unless you're like, no, this cause is important.
Yeah.
Right? Like sane people don't do that unless they're dedicated to a cause.
Career politicians or professional politicians, as they call them, and they align themselves with a particular group of people because they're the ones that is keeping this machine going and well funded. And as long as that continues to happen, then like you've been said, the re-election rate for these people will continue to be high, extremely high, because they own things with their money. Money is influence. Okay. So a lot of people say, why should I donate to your campaign? Okay. The reason why everybody knows this Major Williams guy is because if you look at this finance report, when the California Underground breaks it down, he spent, I would say like 20, 30,000 or more on promotions on social media. I definitely don't have that amount of money. You know what I'm saying? And people say, well, I've been on Facebook. I haven't seen you before. You know why? Because I'm not paying for ads.
Yeah.
To run a minor campaign for like a week or a few days, it's like $500.
Yeah.
And right now I got a little more than $200 in my campaign pocket.
Yeah.
So I can't compete with that. Of course, nobody's going to know who I am unless I go out there and pound the pavement and really do it.
Which does work, but it's tough. It's a lot more effort.
It's harder.
A lot more effort. You can buy ads. People don't really talk about that, and they want to act like whenever they appear on social media is their true organic presence. Your presence on social media is true organic presence.
Exactly.
You earn all of that, but a lot of people can simply do advertising, and it's not buying likes. What you do is you pay the company to show you in front of other people, just increasing the chances that somebody who likes you will click on your thing. And that's basically campaigning.
Exactly.
Because you're virtually going to every single person's computer, their home, and saying, look at me. Well, that's the same thing as
their mini computer, right?
Or their mini computer, But you are versus Nick walks up to a home. I'm Nick and I'm running for office. And Major Williams has $10,000 and walks up to 10,000 individual computers in 10,000 individual homes and says, hey, I'm Major Williams and I'm running for office.
Right.
Major Williams never actually spent any time or effort doing anything. He's sitting at his home, nice and easy. You have to walk to all these homes. It's just the labor effort, and money is a factor there. And Facebook and Twitter and all of them, if you've watched the congressional hearings, have made it very clear they're going to do nothing at all to stop how much cash comes in. Basically, for anything, these people got away with allowing the Russian government to attempt to interfere in an election, and none of them have been brought to justice. There's been no one prosecuted with anything. They damn near tried to impeach Trump for treason, but the people who allowed the whole machinery to work have essentially nothing untouched completely. And there's actually no real regulation coming forward. There's suggestions by them of the regulation they would like. And people are going, see, that means progress. No, that's not how laws work.
Right.
So lawmakers suggest laws because it's what needs to get done, not this is like when Pablo Escobar built his own jail in Colombia and said, okay, you caught me. He turned himself in so he could go live in his personal palace that he built for himself, but they called it technically justice. It's the same thing with the tech companies right now. Watch them at Congress. They talk way over the heads of all the people there. They know it.
And a shitload of them have also retired, or bowed out. A lot of CEOs took their money with them
and left. And this idea that they had no idea that a foreign government kept spending all this money on ads focused on a particular thing,
Right.
using data mining for a particular thing, and just never occurred to them.
And see what happens. What happens on that also is, it's after the fact when it's discovered, after the election, after the money has been spent, where it's like, okay, we need to now investigate. And that usually only happens when some watchdog group or somebody like California Underground, does some expose to show, hey, the money is not being used wisely, or it's being tracked back to a source that it's unidentifiable, So, we need to do that vetting now opposed to later. Don't wait for the mainstream media to turn around and provide this information to you guys. This is why our political system is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Take the initiative, do your homework, do it now, join the underground wherever you are, whether it's here in California or New York or Florida or Wisconsin, get involved in your network on the block level, on the street level. That's really where it counts, because these people that are getting propped up and put on a pedestal in a position of power where they influence all the rest of us, the 99%, aren't part of that at all. And if you get involved, you'll see with your own eyes. Like that video we were talking about earlier, the CNN video or some shit like that, where the guy ran out to the reporter.
Awesome.
The reporter is like, oh my God, it's chaotic out here. There's explosions and, there's fear and chaos and, anarchy. And the guy walked up and said, get your ass out of here.
That was great. And then she kept trying to spin it around like,
right.
Aren't you terrified? And
it's like,
no.
No,
I'm not scared. You're making people scared, and you're trying to whip things up. And she's all, well, but isn't this, we're just, concerned about this issue. And he goes, so am I, but you're making it worse.
Exactly. They exacerbate the situation, and they use the media to sensationalize the situation and, pluck at your heartstrings, whether it's on the right or on the left. They oh, thank you very much. He's keeping me loaded with some wonderful selections here. Right, California's finest. Speaking of which, we should probably wrap things up, because we got a lot of people, with us, probably not saying anything, but we appreciate you watching. But all of you guys that did, Hardbody, Carlos, Jordan Lott, the Founded in Truth, 904, Euban, you guys, I appreciate it. Yeshuan, all of you guys. So when we were talking about Puff Puff Pass, says Galad. All right, thank you, Galad in the house. For sure. Round to you, my brother. So please vet your candidates, find out more about them, and find out who's really doing it for the good or the bad, good intentions or bad intentions. You can tell the bad intentions just by doing a little bit of homework and seeing how it resonates with you. Because believe it or not, the guy still has a lot of supporters. Even though that came out, people are like, well, what do you expect him to do? Be, staying at the Motel 6, And I got to jump in there and say, actually, yes, I do it. I have been doing it. I ran for governor in 2018. I ran for mayor. I ran for city council, in Fullerton. And I ran for governor again in 2014. So, yes, somebody said something. I think it was Hardbody. He said something about, doing it on the city level and all of that good stuff. Attacking it whatever level that you can. Get involved. Whether it's on the city level, county level, state level, federal level, get involved. Carlos, if you want to run for Senate, definitely do so. All you got to do is put your name on the ballot, people. And it costs money to do that. Unfortunately, you come to find out there are filing fees. And that's the funniest thing about this guy is he's spending all of this money. None of the filing fees have come out yet. We're not able to do it yet as candidates. So right now, you should have a certain amount of money in your pot, you know what I'm saying, to take care of those filing fees. But the rest of it mainly is just spent on advertising.
So they haven't filed to be a candidate in the recall election, or they haven't even allowed you guys to do that.
They haven't allowed us to yet because it hasn't been confirmed.
Tell me when that happened.
You know?
Okay.
So once the recall is confirmed, recall of Gruesome Newsom here. So once the recall of Newsom is confirmed as far as signatures, which will be before the 29th, that's when the special election will then be announced. Okay. And then they have a certain amount of period that they can schedule that. And they're already projecting that to be around October, November. Okay. So once they, set the date, so to speak, and the recall is accounted for, then now you can file as a recall candidate. And then you'll have to pay the filing fees and all of that good stuff. So filing fees is something that needs to be covered. I don't have it yet, so please head on over to my website, wildstar2022.com. Make a contribution to my campaign. I'm going to use that money wisely. I'm not going to be using it to wine and dine and stay at fancy restaurants and, travel in Tesla limos and all of this shit. But I will do what my man said and get a semi truck if I got to,
That's just good advertising.
That would be fun, actually.
Good.
If I could find a truck driver and have them do a semi truck, I could sleep in the back of the bunk or whatever the case. Just drive and we'll paint up the side, and drive around. I don't know what we're gonna have in the in the truck. But yeah, if you got any suggestions, definitely let us know. Maybe we should put some taxation and theft shit up in there. Yeah, maybe that's what we can do. Speaking of which, here it is. Taxation is theft. Let me bring that up right here. .info. Check it out. Go over to taxationistheft.info. Buy some taxation is theft merchandise using my code GoWild2022, and you will be able to make a contribution to my campaign and help me fill it up, that semi truck up with some good stuff. So yeah, head on over to taxationistheft.info and use my code again, GoWild2022, and you'll be able to get a discount as well as again make a contribution to yours truly. And if you want some hemp, some nice potent hemp products, which we've been smoking some good stuff over here. Thank you again, my friend.
Hey, yeah.
And thank you all for joining the smoke session. But yeah, head on over to Nug of Knowledge, which is CBD products, okay, that you can get some of the highest CBD, highest potency CBD products that you can get, which has actually been discovered to help with coronavirus, believe it or not. I just saw a report came out. Yeah. So CBD treats coronavirus. If you don't want to get the vaccine, you got coronavirus or had it or whatever, still got symptoms. I spoke to a few people. Try some CBD products, see if it helps, okay? And use my code right here, which is WildStar at nugofknowledge.com. You'll be able to get a discount and make a contribution to the campaign. All right. And I'm still fighting the justice system to, clear my name, as well as, again, protect the rights of the people of California. If you guys hadn't heard about what happened to me, I was arrested for recording in court find out more at GovernorWildstar.com, free Wildstar, or head on over to GoFundMe.com, free Wildstar. Check it out. And you can find out more about the story, hopefully make a contribution to my efforts, because I am appealing it. I'm waiting to hear from the appeals court, hopefully soon. I'll keep you guys updated as to what happens, but I have some friends that are involved with, filing legal paperwork and all of that shit. I would love to get representation, which, costs a pretty penny. So if you would like to make a contribution to that effort, please head on over to GoFundMe.com/free Wildstar and make a contribution today, okay? And we are still pushing to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. Don't he just look fed up,
That's a hilarious graphic, whether you're for the recall or
his career is ruined one way or another. Win or lose.
It's serious.
Yeah.
It's serious. It's serious now. Schwarzenegger even said, take this seriously. This is real.
Definitely.
Like,
he's going to have to now, especially once the signatures get confirmed. It's over. So, and like I said, he's already collected over $3 million from his, rich and famous friends. So more will pour in to him. So if you want to help We the People of California get rid of him, head on over to recallgavin2020.com. Get involved in the recall effort today. We don't need signatures anymore, but we do need people out there to become more informed about as to why they should sign that recall. So you can find out more information about how you can get involved locally by clicking on county information here, this link. Volunteer phase 2, they tell you about everything that they're going to need from you. So head on over to recallgavin2020.com and get involved. And of course, me, I'm running for Gavin Newsom's seat. So help me replace his ass. Governor Newsom looks like Evil Ash from RINO.
I love that movie.
Right?
I got that reference right away. It was like, I'm not going to laugh, but I love that movie. That's very good.
Too funny.
Very good. You crushed it on that. I'm trying to stay new, but yeah.
I wish he was fighting against evil, but he's the face of evil himself around here. So help us get rid of him and replace his face with mine. Head on over to wildstar2022.com and help my handsome face get in there, okay?
And like and subscribe.
All right, exactly. Fill out this pledge card so you can join Team Wildstar. Need your help going door to door fundraising, which is extremely important. It looks small here, but when you hit it, head on over to the actual website. It'll be much more legible. And host some meet and greets, all that good stuff. Fill out a pledge card. Just move that down in the way and click on this donate tab to make a contribution or, find out about my platform here, including my Go New Deal, press, other sorts of stories and, new releases, headlines, all that good stuff, other interviews. Head on over to my website, click on press, all that good stuff. But like I said, please be sure to contribute. My campaign is 100% funded by We the People, okay? People like you. So please make a contribution today. Every little bit helps. Like I said, I'm definitely not going to be wasting that money on, extravagances. So help me, help you, help We the People of California. Euban says, until next time, folks, sleep late, have fun, get wild, drink whiskey, and drive fast on empty streets with nothing in mind but falling in love and not getting arrested. Woo! I like the sound of that. Keep nothing in mind but falling in love and not getting arrested. Beautiful statement. Good night to you, Euban. And Carlos, he said he just came back. Appreciate you coming back, but we signing off. So definitely watch the rebroadcast of this and spread the word. Like I said, I appreciate you guys chiming in all of the comments. Just please share, spread the love. Let other people know about what we're doing because we're fighting to represent We the People, But we need your help to help get that word out there. We don't have the money right now, but you can help by simply sharing. That's all you got to do. Share, like, comment, all the little simple shit like that definitely helps. So help us grow our numbers, help us grow our audience, and get more attention to our message to bring back liberty. All right. So Carlos, have a good night. Yuban, Yeshua, and all of the people that made comments. I'm not going to run down the roll call again, but you know who you are.
Yeah.
And all of you people who didn't, like I said, definitely come back next time. My man, Marcus Ruiz Evans in the house. Head on over to YesCalifornia.org and get involved in the Cal Exit movement. And please contact him at his email address if you want to get involved with the California independence movement. All right. You guys take care. Much love to y'all, and long live liberty. Have a wonderful evening. I'm about this bitch. Peace.